Hey everybody, it's Leeroy from Leeroy Gaming, and I am back with another Lost Ark guide for you guys. This is going to be my second settings guide. It is going to be my Get More Good guide. So if you found my first guide helpful, you may want to check it out. You can find my first guide linked above. This one is going to help you get even better and more efficient in gameplay. This is stuff that all players should learn. Some of the stuff really shocked me how much it helped. So let's go ahead and jump right in, see what this is all about. Again, if you guys do enjoy this content, make sure to drop a like. If you have questions, drop a comment below. Now, let's take a look at my Get To guide for settings in Lost Ark. All right, so my first tip has to do with tradescraft, aka gathering. What we're going to look at here is whenever you go to gather, you're going to notice something really annoying. It automatically opens up this trades menu, and maybe you got enemies attacking you like this. You try and hit your favorite hotkey and realize, oh no, I'm not hitting the right ability. I'm still in tradescraft. So what you're going to want to do is disable this, and let me show you exactly how to do that. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go hit escape, go under settings, control and display, and then scroll down. Here, the category is combat settings. Disable auto load trade HUD. Hit apply. Now, take a look what's going to happen. Same scenario. I'm on my mount. All right, over to gather. Take a look. It still keeps my combat UI up. So if I'm getting jumped for whatever reason, I can go straight into combat without issues. Easy peasy, headache saver, life saver, really nice thing that I wish I had known prior. All right, my next tip for you guys has to do with hotkeys and very specific hotkeys. So this game is a little interesting that it allows you to hotkey 1 through 4, which are the buttons that are easy for people to normally reach, for all these kind of temporary consumables. But for the other areas where you can put things like your potions, they're much harder to reach. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, for example. Now, what I recommend you do, and this is going to save you a ton of time and also potentially save your life, is to re-hotkey your potion as well as your mount up button. And you're going to want to make this something much more accessible than the numbers 5, 6, or 7. So if you have a mouse that has multiple extra buttons, I like doing this on my Logitech mouse. On the left side of the mouse, I have 2 buttons. So for my thumb one, that's easier to access, I have my mount up button, so I can easily do that. And then for whenever I need to heal slightly more out of the way so that I don't accidentally hit it, is my eat or drink potion rather button. Now, for those of you that don't know how to do that, you haven't messed with hotkeys at all you go is go hit escape, go to settings, go under hotkeys, and you actually want to go under items. And you're going to notice here, empty slot. It doesn't do a good job of telling you what these are. So by default, you're going to notice that empty slot 1 and 2 are going to be 4 and 5. That's what it was originally. So here you're going to want to change it again to an accessible, hopefully mouse keypad for you. And you're just going to click it and then change it to whatever button you want and hit apply and OK, and you're good to go. Again, it's going to save you a ton of time and probably going to save your life a couple of times as well. All right, the next step I want to talk about is going to be spell effects. This is a really big deal. As you can see, even with a class like mine that's like a paladin, it's not super flashy, there's a lot of spell effects. And when you're doing dungeons and raids, it gets absolutely insane. I think even if you're not sensitive to epileptic events, you may get epileptic seizures just from that. But worse off, you're probably going to die because you're not going to be able to tell the difference between friend and enemy attacks sometimes. So what you want to do is you want to go again back to settings, control and display. And when it says show combat / pet, it's going to say battle effect display. Make sure it goes display foes only. By default, it is for all targets, which when you're leveling out in the world by yourself, it's not a big deal. It's kind of cool to see other people's abilities. But again, as soon as you hit dungeon or raids, you're going to be really saving yourself a ton of headaches. Right, next tip, and again, this is going to help you with survival tremendously because this is going to improve your visibility. So we already got rid of the spell effect, but now what we want to do is we want to add something called the combat highlight. So if you'll notice, when I go into combat, my character is outlined with this white area, and that's very, very important because again, you can easily get lost in the shuffle when you're fighting. So this is not on by default, unfortunately. So let me show you exactly where to go to turn this on. If you go into, again, settings, and then just scroll down to combat settings, and then scroll down to show combats/pets, right below where it says base effects display, it has combat outline. This will by default be off. Make sure to turn that on and apply. And again, you're going to look nice and white like this, and it's going to be much easier for you to notice yourself. All right, next tip has to do with performance, and this is helpful if you feel like you're struggling, if you're getting FPS drops and it's affecting your performance gameplay-wise. So one setting that you guys probably already know about is disabling or limiting your shadows, which can be helpful. But another one that I really found helpful, and this is going to be under the settings under video, is disabling bloom effects. So bloom effects adds a bloom effect to give off a feeling of objects receiving light from light emitters. So basically adds multi-light sources to objects, which is really pretty, but it is something that can be kind of intense if you have an older graphic card. So I have found that if, again, you are struggling, you don't necessarily want to drop your overall graphic settings, but you want a nice little boost in performance, I found that the bloom effect, disabling that if you've already messed around with the shadows being lowered or disabled, also very helpful. All right, guys, final tip, and this is a little bit more of an advanced tip. This is something that if you've played other MMOs, you've probably learned about this, but if you're brand new to MMOs, you're going to learn very, very quickly that the game is all about situational awareness. It's all about knowing projections of enemies, etc. So the first thing you want to learn, or a very important thing you want to learn, is to learn to stop staring at your hotkeys. Now, when you're starting out, you're not going to know all your cooldowns. You're not going to know even what all your abilities are. But as soon as you can, you want to just kind of learn roughly your rotation, learn when your ability is going to be on cooldown, because you want to keep your eyesight around here. So this is where you want to be looking at all times, so when an enemy comes and is projecting an attack, you can avoid it, especially if you're not a tinky character. If you're a caster that's squishy, last thing you want to be doing is looking down here at the hotbars. Oh, are my things off cooldown? And during that second you get stunned, you get one shot. So this becomes more and more important as you raid. But again, it's not necessarily a setting. I guess it's a setting of mind that you want to, again, just learn your settings, kind of mentally learn how long your cooldowns are. You can check it from time to time, but eventually it'll become second nature to you. And just keep your eye on the prize, which is your character, and you're going to have a much easier time in dungeons and raids and all type of content. All right, guys, I sure hope that you found those settings and tips helpful. If you did, drop me a like and let me know in the comments below. As I get more and more into this game, I will work on putting together more guides, more tips, and I definitely try and create content for you guys that is slightly outside of the norm, maybe that you're not finding absolutely everywhere else. I'm not perfect because, you know, everything gets found out eventually, but I'm trying to be helpful in slightly non-traditional ways whenever I can. With that being said, guys, thank you for all the support again. Thank you for all the love you guys showed my last video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one as well. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.